I'm surrounded by art all the time, and I've learned so much over the years about art history, conservation, art concepts, and terminology, but I still don't feel like I actually know how to do art, how to create art. I guess you could say I'm still learning to find my thing.
Even outside of work, I've been dabbling in learning all sorts of art, like knitting and drawing, or even designing clothes.
And I'm very lucky to have people in my life who are encouraging and motivating me all the time, like my work bestie, Cassia.
I think you'll like this. Ooh, birds! Oh, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's see if watercolor is my thing.
I might be getting a little obsessed.
No, no, I'm out of pages.
And cue the special interest rabbit hole. We have to have some birds in the art collection.
Absolutely, we do.
I requested a visit in the drawings room with these two watercolors by Sarah Stone.
These are gorgeous. They're so detailed. I wish I could see like real birds up close like this. Actually, I know a place where I can do that.
So welcome to our range. This is where we keep most of the specimens in our collection. We share a space with mammals, so it actually starts with mammals. From here on down, we have birds.
Birds. And bats? Are these?
Well, bats are mammals, so that's part of the mammals.
Don't include that.
And my rabbit hole continues with a visit to Allison Shultz, ornithologist or bird scientist at the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles.
We're gonna go see some birds. Birds used to be preserved with arsenic, so that's why we wear gloves. We, of course, don't do that anymore, but we just assume that every bird we handle has arsenic on it. We've got each one of these aisles has cases stacked 3 high. Each of these cases has these drawers.
Artists like Sarah Stone would have used specimens like these to paint her watercolor birds. But Allison and colleagues used these birds for scientific research and recently discovered how a group of colorful songbirds called tanagers layer their feathers with an underlayer that makes the top color really pop, similar to a technique used by artists called underpainting.
Here's this beautiful red pigment, and you can see they've got that nice white achromatic layer. That red and yellow is so vibrant because it's laying on top of that white.
The art of Impressionism describes the science of this. Light strikes the paint, passes through it, strikes the lighter ground, and is reflected back to the eye through the layer of paint. These male and female tanagers are another great example of how underlayering can make such a colorful difference. You can see that while the female bird has an entirely gray underlayer, the male bird has this white bar called an achromatic layer in part of its feathers.
You can actually see it here in this feather. And when you think about how feathers lay on a bird, they're kind of like roof shingles where the colorful tips lay on top actually of that achromatic layer. If you look, you can see that this yellow
It's so bright.
is much brighter on the white background. You know, it's kind of fun. It's like the more we learn about how colors are produced, the more you realize that these same techniques exist in art. And even things that we think of as new techniques in art actually have existed in birds for a long time.
Who would have thought that I could learn so much from real bird science about color theory in art, like glazing and contrasting and complementary colors? I decided to see what else I could learn, so I reached out to a real watercolor bird artist, Robin Crowfoot Brittingham, the author of this bird book that I found in the Getty store.
What drew you to watercolor as a medium in particular?
Well, part of it is just practicality, which I've always loved, that watercolor is so portable and can be brought anywhere. And as someone who paints nature, I find it interesting that like the medium sort of echoes these like changes in the environment as you're painting natural objects.
Speaking of natural objects, I told Robin about my trip to the Natural History Museum, and we talked about our shared love of painting birds.
The way that birds' feathers looks and the colors of them has so much to do with the way that light responds to them. I think this is one of the things that makes it, like birds, such a uniquely good thing to paint with watercolor. You're seeing the light refract through layers of feathers, so the color you're getting is really like a watercolor painting is like layers of a color. That's true to some extent of all types of painting, but watercolor, because of its translucency, there's a lot of color theory involved because you're like building up to a certain color with several.
After looking at real watercolor paintings, visiting the birds at the Natural History Museum, and talking to Robin about her process and also practicing day after day, I decided to apply all of this new knowledge and experience that I had learned.
Look at how pretty. Oh, I'm so proud of this. I do think that watercolor is going to be one of my things. I also know there's so much out there to explore. So if you have something that you're into, art or crafting, and you think I should check it out, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching this. Please do all the things like subscribe, comment, so I can keep learning and exploring the art world and what's out there and sharing it with you.